I the a-hole for getting my sister a car for Christmas? I come from a culture where arranged marriages are normal, and out of my 4 sisters, 39, 36, 32, and me, myself and my oldest sister married our boyfriends and we were cut off by our parents, mostly because our husbands weren't rich enough to their standards. My oldest sister, Charlie, was our parents' least favorite, and I wasn't particularly close to her because of our 10-year age difference. After I eloped with my husband when I was 24 and got cut off, things got tight financially for us. We both lost our jobs and could barely afford rent. My in-laws had teenagers to take care of, but they helped us here and there. My parents wouldn't talk to me, and my 2 sisters who married doctors told me I should have let our parents get me a rich husband like they did them, because love don't pay bills, and they stopped picking my calls. Well, I don't blame them. That really hurt. When we were evicted from our apartment, I called Charlie, and her and brother-in-law took us in. She advised me to go back on birth control till we were stable and helped me apply for jobs. While they weren't rich, they let us stay with them for a month and they rented us an apartment and paid a year's worth of rent for us. And then found out they used the money they'd been saving for a romantic getaway on us, and they told us not to pay back. Then my brother-in-law got his friends to invest in my husband's business, while I was able to get a better job. All of this was over 4 years ago. And for this Christmas, we bought Charlie a new luxury car, and my brother-in-law an all-expense-paid trip for their romantic getaway they canceled because of us. Brother-in-law keeps rejecting our gifts, but we knew he wouldn't say no to this. Then brother-in-law made a TikTok that went mini viral, and now I have family I haven't heard from in 5 years calling us and sending me messages on social media, calling us stingy for being rich and not sharing. We feel a bit guilty, but me more. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. If they don't want a relationship while you were broke, they only want money from you now. Not the a-hole. Good on you for paying it back to your sister and brother-in-law for helping you out. You're obviously not the a-hole. These people went no contact and cut you off. They shunned you. You owe them nothing. Love and support the people who love and support you. OMG, this. Opie's family didn't love her enough for them to accept her husband, and they certainly didn't love him while he was poor. But love isn't something that is wishy-washy. You either love someone or you don't. So them wanting to be part of Opie's life now has nothing to do with family or love or responsibility. It has to do with these people's unadulterated greed. Opie and not the a-hole. Please don't let them in. They'll drain you dry of everything. Your money, your love, your trust, and leave you a hollow shell of your former self. Not the a-hole. You're giving back to those who first believed and invested in you. The family that kicked you out and ignored you until they learned of your success deserved a lump of coal for Christmas. Not the a-hole. Where's all their love don't pay the bills, marry doctor like us money it now? Not the a-hole. I think it's fairly obvious you showed gratitude to people who treated you with kindness during a time of need. Ask your family why they are stingy and never shared with you if they are supposed to be rich, due to their doctor husbands. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not inviting my husband's son to Christmas? My husband, 64, has 2 kids, a daughter 35 and son 31. His daughter lives in a different country but is low contact with us, so we have very little to do with her. Their real mother died when they were both in their teens. His son lives only 15 minutes away, and we see him from time to time. He is not a bad guy, just very different to my husband and I. I also have a son of my own, 41. He is a very successful stockbroker, while my husband's son is a moderately successful photographer. My son is married with 3 kids, while my husband's son is still single. This usually causes problems over Christmas, as I like to spend it with my son and his family, and I expect my husband to join. We invited his son along 4 years ago, and even though he did try to fit in, it just wasn't a good fit. He thought it's appropriate to show up in jeans and a t-shirt. I was so embarrassed I could hardly look anyone in the eyes. Ever since that year, we decided not to invite him again. This never seemed to be an issue until this year. We showed up at his home early morning. We had plans to go over to my son's house at around 11, so we didn't really have time. So we just dropped off a gift for him and left. He bought nothing for us. Later that day, my husband texted him to ask if he had enjoyed the rest of Christmas, to which he replied, "Oh right, that's what today was. Thanks for the chocolate and 3-minute visit." My husband was very upset by this, but I was outraged. I wanted to contact him and put him in his place, but my husband took my phone away and told me to let it go. It's been 2 days now. Him and my husband are talking again, and both seem to have just moved past it, but I'm still mad. It's not my fault that he is less successful than my family and just can't fit in with us. So, am I the idiot for not inviting my husband's son to Christmas? I think it might slightly be because my husband wasn't super rich until he married me, so his son was raised in a lower class environment, which obviously can't help, but at the same time, it's definitely not my fault either. I feel very conflicted. Just thought I would add this because it keeps coming up. No, I did not tell him about the dress code, but he spent enough time with me and his father that he should have known better. The jeans were also ill-fitting and did not look neat at all. Also, that Christmas didn't take place at my house but at my son's, and he was also quite embarrassed. 1, because this wasn't setting a good example to his young children, and 2, he had other guests over as well, and this did not make a favorable impression on them. You're the a-hole. You knew what you were doing with that visit. It was a drive-by, so he couldn't say you totally ignored him, but it was literally the least effort you could possibly expend and say you saw him on Christmas. If you're gonna pull BS like that, don't be surprised when people call you on it. There's probably a very valid reason for low contact with the other child. Opie sounds like she's not a very warm or accepting individual. You're the a-hole. It's no wonder the daughter is already low contact with you guys. You're the a-hole. The only thing you've mentioned that he did wrong was wearing jeans to a family gathering. You sound like a shallow, snobby person who cares more about appearances than family. Oh no. She also mentions how her son is more successful than him. She cares about money and appearance. She's the Grinch who stole Christmas. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my sister-in-law that her daughter is like her father? My brother has been in prison for well over a decade, serving life. When he went in, he left behind his pregnant girlfriend Anna, but she moved away before she gave birth to their daughter and we fell out of touch. Anna was a medical student at the time and is now a doctor. Their daughter Lucy is 19 and Anna's just started to reconnect with our side of the family. Lucy has started writing to her father in prison and Anna has been emailing with me. I invited them to come and stay with us for Christmas. It was a mistake. When I first met Lucy, I thought she was lovely. She was really polite and friendly, and also ambitious for her future. She's studying economics at a top university and doing very well. We let Lucy hang out with Chloe, my 14-year-old. We thought she'd be a good influence, someone to aspire to be like. Eventually, the topic of Christmas presents came up. We got Chloe some clothes, but Lucy then rubbed in the more expensive clothes she got for Christmas, and then said she would be embarrassed to be seen dressed like that in public. Chloe was crying and I was raging. What the hell is wrong with a 19-year-old who bullies a 14-year-old? I told Lucy her words were inappropriate, and she laughed and replied, it's the truth, and that she has to learn eventually. I told Anna it would be best if she and her daughter left. Anna said that Lucy hadn't done anything wrong, and that Chloe was being sensitive. I responded back that Lucy obviously takes after her dad in personality. This really upset Anna, who left with Lucy. My husband thinks comparing Lucy to my brother was too far, but her behavior is exactly the sort of thing my brother would do when he was younger. He was abnormal even as a young child, and was cruel to younger children and animals. I've had my parents, who they've also reconnected with, calling me asking why their granddaughter is crying, because I said she was like her father. I'm sorry, but if she's going to bully younger kids, I will call out her disgusting behavior. I feel Lucy's not like your brother. She's just like your sister-in-law, who approves of her behavior and enables it. At any rate, while you were rude, it was not uncalled for. Not the a-hole. They asked for it, you gave it to them. Go no contact and live happily ever after. This is a good point. It's obvious that Lucy's mother seemed to support her comments. Lucy's mother was attracted to Opie's brother, so seeing the same traits in her daughter wouldn't strike her as bad. Not the a-hole, at least for me. Your niece is an adult and shouldn't bash on a 14-year-old child. It sucks her dad's in jail, but she seems undisciplined and spoiled. Opie did no wrong in my eyes. Not the a-hole. Her mother should have stepped in, not supported her daughter's actions. If she wasn't going to accept or even acknowledge what they did was wrong, then why not? It might have been somewhat nuclear option, but if you genuinely did see the comparison, then it's reasonable to point it out. It certainly hammered the point home. Sometimes harsh truth/reality checks are needed. Ask your parents if they would rather Chloe be upset after being bullied by a 19-year-old who was then backed up by their mother. Yeah, screw them. Next story. Am I the a-hole for ruining my husband's Christmas? My female 29 husband, male 33, is the breadwinner and I'm a stay-at-home mom. We used to both work, but due to medical problems, I couldn't keep working. As a result, I don't have what they call fun money, or money to spend however I want. My husband gives me money only to spend on the house or the kids, but that's that. I might borrow money here and there or try to figure something out if I needed essential stuff like hygiene products. This Christmas, my husband gave me $600 as my Christmas gift. I freaked out thinking I now have to get him a decent gift to match his. So I went shopping and got him the most affordable thing on his wish list, which was a $180 pair of sneakers with his favorite color. I didn't show him the gift until we visited his parents' house for Christmas, and when it was time for gift opening, he opened the gift, saw the sneakers, and looked extremely upset like he was about to blow up. I asked what's up, and he asked why in the blue hell I decided to waste money and get him sneakers, aka the cheapest gift on his wish list. I said it's all I can afford, and he literally lashed out and said, BS. I gave you $600. That's about the right price for a new gaming console, and it was right there at the top of my wish list. He said it in front of his parents. It was so awkward, it felt so horrible I wanted to disappear. But I apologized and said I was sorry, but I had other stuff I needed to buy and money wasn't enough. He took it as in I was blaming him for not giving me enough money, and picked an argument with me about how wasteful and financially irresponsible I am. Otherwise, I wouldn't be struggling with money for long. I disagreed and said I don't have a salary due to medical issues, not being irresponsible. Also told him he could get the gaming console himself since he has money, but he got all dramatic and ranted about how he wouldn't, because then he'll be judged for getting anything for himself. His parents tried to get involved, but he straight up told me how disappointed he was, and said that I ruined his Christmas. Then went upstairs and avoided talking to me till we got back and the whole argument restarted. He kept repeating that he was disappointed, and that I ruined Christmas for him, saying, good job screwing up, even after I pointed out how rude it was of him to react like that in front of his parents. He's wanting an apology at the moment and still upset about what I did. Am I the a-hole? Edit. For the record, he used to own an Xbox, but it got broken like 3 years ago. And he didn't want to get himself a new one, saying that there are more important things to focus on. I get why he was disappointed, but I argued with him about the kids' gifts as well, since that matters too. Also, I bought gifts for family members, so I'm not sure if I was right to do that knowing money is tight. My mother-in-law got an expensive gift from him and so did the rest of the family. Not stay home. Your husband is mistreating you. This is literally financial abuse. You deserve money to spend on yourself. Doesn't matter if you don't make a salary. You still do work keeping house. Not only that, but yelling at you like that at all, but especially in front of people, is also abusive. Please look into getting disability or employment and get away from him. I came here to say this. Not stay hollow B. Please talk to someone, a friend, a family member, about your relationship with your significant other to get a better perspective. Absolutely not. I'm also the breadwinner for my family, and if I gave my significant other money as a gift, that would be her money. If she didn't spend a penny on me, I would be upset because it was her money. I also tell my significant other to pick whatever she wants for me for Christmas and take it directly out of the checking account, but she has full access to whenever she wants or needs it. You're 100% not the a-hole in this situation, and I'm sorry you're going through that. Also, if $180 sneakers is wasteful spending, then a $600 game console is definitely not what I would consider a cheap, not wasteful, gift. I agree completely, and I thought this is what he wanted, like he told me to pamper myself and spend the money however I want, because it's his gift for me. Like I said, I wanted to get him something I can afford from the list, and a console would have taken all the money. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for gifting my boyfriend things I got for free / made myself, and not something with my own money? I, female 26, have been dating my boyfriend, male 27, for about 10 months. So this was our first Christmas together. For context, we both make a good income. I also have a passion hobby of making candles, which I often give to friends and family. For my work's Christmas party, end of November, we had a raffle, with the prize being a Nintendo Switch, something my boyfriend was considering getting himself. I ended up winning and immediately thought he'd love it. I also wanted to make him 2 candles, one with the main scents of the perfume that I wear that he likes, and a second of scents that he likes. I thought these would be great presents. When opening my presents, he was excited about the Nintendo Switch, but didn't seem that excited about the candles. I wrote little notes with the candles, but he barely even glanced at them. I opened my presents and was super grateful. But then he said he had something to say because it was upsetting him and he wanted us to be able to communicate with each other. He was upset that I had only gotten him 1 real gift when he got me 3, which made him feel underappreciated. I was confused because I thought the candles were real gifts, but asked him what was a real gift. He said it was something you put money and thought into, and that it shouldn't be something he could get if he just asked me for free. I was kind of offended and said that the Nintendo must not be a real gift because I didn't pay for it but got it from work. He got upset, insinuated that I had left his gift last minute, and was getting defensive over it before leaving. We haven't spoken since. Not stay home. A gift is something you put time and effort into. A gift shouldn't revolve around monetary aspect. That being said, if he's shown he's not a big fan of candles, and if Opie continues to give them, she would be an a-hole. Not stay home. Buying a blanket for your spouse, $10 to $50 depending on material. Making a blanket for your spouse. The price of materials, the price of your time to make, to buy, to design, to fix. Way over $50. That is if you only care about how much money someone spent on you. Someone giving me a candle that they made for me, with special scents, means a lot more than a $10 Bath & Body Works candle. My friend doesn't usually give me presents. We go out to eat for my gift, but with COVID last year we couldn't. So at Christmas he gave me a little bag, apologizing for what a horrible thing it was and left. I opened it and found 3 small hedgehog statues. My hoggy urchin had died 2 years ago, but my last rescue butter had died about a month before Christmas. The 3 little statues were so freaking cute and sentimental I started to cry. Screw a $30 meal. These are worth far more because he gave them from the heart.